everyone. Yes, welcome back to Mongolo Crooning Show with Abby and her friends. It's been a very, very, very long time. I'm sorry, I'm trying to grab lunch or dinner, whatever it is in between all of this. And yeah, you haven't seen my face in a long time. Unfortunately, 17th of April, my mother passed away. And I just needed to get my head together. Now, I'm sure some of you know, some of you who have, you know, been following me know that my relationship with my mother wasn't always the best, you know. But in spite of that, in spite of it not always being the best, it was. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to see what's going on. Okay, so even though our relationship wasn't the best, and I thought, you know, well, I never thought my mom was going to die early because women in our family they reach 100. So when you always are like, she'll always be there. Nana, don't go away, please. I'm going to bring you back on now. I was about to bring you on. I just want to quickly round up. So you know, I didn't think of her dying early, and I mean she died at 73. But by her family standards, by the women in her family standards, that was early because they're always over 100 before they go. So it was a shock, and I just felt that there was still so much that needed to be repaired in our relationship. But man proposes, God disposes. But I needed to get my head right because my head was all over the place. I was a mess. Um, I'm actually looking at myself and I've just realized that my face still looks puffy. People say I've lost weight, but my face looks big. Or maybe it's just me thinking that. Anyways, so that's why I've been off. That's why I've not been around because I was emotionally and physically broken, completely broken. Uh, and now I think I'm in a better place. It's taken some time. I mean, April, May, June. Well, it was the end of June. We are at the end of June. But you know what? Better late than never. It would have been bad for me to come on and be falling apart. But at least I can sit here, I can talk, and I'm not crying, I'm not falling apart, I'm not doing anything. So it's important to take care of our mental health. It's really, really important to do that. So before I bring on Nana, who's waiting very privately in the sidelines. I'm just going to quickly read out the comments. Mavis Wilcox said, um, my condolences. Thank you so much, Mavis. I really appreciate it. I still have your plate. It is safely in my cupboard, waiting for the day I can get to return it to you. You know those your Pyrex, that Pyrex place in which you brought the most amazing afang. It's still there. Oh, have you saved? So thank you so much. Shitufora said, please accept my condolences, wish her eternal rest. Thank you so much. And I think you actually came to watch the funeral. I think I saw you online. I really appreciate that. For everyone who tuned in to watch the funeral, who sent in text messages, called, I'm really sorry I couldn't answer much because I just wasn't in the right place, but I really appreciate it. I saw them and I really appreciate it. And I will eventually get around to it. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate every single comments, phone call, people coming in to watch the funeral, to be part of the whole thing. I really, really appreciate it. So God bless each and every one of you. Nana, I'll bring you on and then I'll continue the rest of the so one of the people who were there holding my hand, metaphorically, making sure I wasn't falling apart. Was Nana Shehu? Nana, where are you? I can't see you. I want to bring you on. Mm-hmm.
Eating my
So
snack and coffee. So I said, let me not be eating on screen.
my dear, every time I have my sandwich here, see, I want to
shame,
quickly finish.
shame is catching me.
I'm telling you, hunger is not a funny something, my dear.
I they tell you.
Hunger is no respecter of
In
stomach.
fact, this what happened. I had to go to work first thing, in the morning, and I don't eat breakfast, so I only eat lunch. Now I've even turned to dinner.
Listening.
Now I'm a dinner person self because from one I have to go to the second one. I'm about to go in now, but I'm in the car. I still have like 20 minutes to go into the second job. So in between, that's when I normally take my coffee and my whatever snack I get. And then I'll face the evening work. Then when I now finish, I will go and do, man, as my people say, work no dey ever finish. Oh.
Work no dey finish, oh. Problem
You
no
just
dey
have
finish.
to
You know,
in between.
I'm technically going to miss your Baba because when you were with him, you
Mm,
could come on and be chatting.
mm.
I don't think that's going to happen in this situation.
My dear, look at me. As like this is a time where like unless I'm in between like this. Because okay, by the way, EST is 3:30 EST.
Okay.
I mean E18 EST, Eastern
Your
Standard Time.
timeline, Sha.
3:30 sha. So if it's 8:30 UK Nigeria is 3:30 here. It's 5 hours difference now. So that's it. I miss Baba. Oh. I live with Baba. Baba used to disturb us.
I thought you not mind. We'll be graduating ourselves.
Baba didn't care, man.
My dear. Let me quickly read the rest of the comments that I'm seeing so far, and then we'll go straight into it because I want to hear your thoughts. So
Okay.
there is a video, but I'm not going to waste your time because you've already seen the video. But let me quickly read the rest of the comments. So Olalade Onyibuje said, "Stay strong, sister. Really appreciate it." Mavis said, "Hearts." Thank you, Mavis. And Yetunde Osijo. Hey, you see this Yetunde? When they say person they cook fire. Hell, Jesus. When I was in Osu, her house was my restaurant. I love her cooking. Die. When person, oh, you know when they say somebody be hand of spoon, well, what she be.
Now.
She be
Now.
so she said, "Be strong and be hugs and kisses." And I miss her donut. Die. My younger ones when they used to come and spend holidays with me, they end up at her house because they know that they will eat better food.
Exactly.
If her husband doesn't have pot belly, then that man must be seriously disciplined.
Mm.
Because no, this lady can cook, and she's also a fantastic friend. She's a really fantastic friend. So let me see. I think there's one more. Duale said this test should be must if you marry a Nigerian. If you marry a Nigerian lady. Oh, okay. He's talking about the DNA. Don't insult us. We will not take it. You cannot insult us that you must do it if you're a Nigerian lady. Are you saying that all Nigerian women are cheats? How dare you? Anyway, so today we are going to be talking about DNA testing, and actually was on the phone with a friend who I'm hoping is watching right now, Mr. Solomon. And we were talking about all this DNA testing. I was like, if he gets married, he's doing DNA testing. I said, in fact, to me, it is mandatory that you do fertility test on both people before they get married. If two people come together and they say children is part of the reason why they're getting married, they need to do fertility test, both of them. Because you will hear a lot of women saying that the reason why some women go out to go and get pregnant by other men and bring it home is because they've been with the man 5 years, 7 years, nothing, and the man is refusing to go and do a test because I fire, I make you call me daddy. So what are you talking about? I'm able, forgetting that because you can ejaculate, because you can have an erection and ejaculate doesn't mean that your sperm actually works. So I think it's important that first of all, let us go and do tests so that all these men that are making mouths, when they find out they can't do anything, then the woman will now be able to say at liberty that I'm sorry, I cannot marry a barren man. Because every time they'll be like, oh, a barren woman, forgetting that men can be barren too. So once we level that playing field, now we can start talking DNA testing. Or what do you think? Oh yeah, over to you.
In my opinion, why should a man ask for a DNA test from his wife when she gives birth? She's his wife. I mean, is it lack of trust or what? To me, it's like saying to a wife telling her husband every time he goes on a trip and comes back, go and do STD test. Do the whole STD test and let me see. Let me be sure you didn't bring any STD home. That's lack of trust.
Hmm.
If you don't trust the person, then don't be with that person. Because if you do this DNA test, if my husband was telling me to do a DNA test, man, I'm gone. Meaning, I'm very sure the child is yours. But when we do the test and you see that the child is yours, man, I'm gone. That means if you cannot trust me to have a child for you, then why are we together?
Hmm.
So if you have any iota of doubt, please just separate. I think that's the worst insult to give a woman. Let's have a DNA test for your child. I think it's an insult, the greatest insult in this world. It shouldn't lead to that. If for any reason you have your doubts, please don't even have the children in the first place. Say that, you know what, we're going to be on a pause now. Oh, I'm going to make sure maybe you're the only one I see for the next, or yeah, I'm the only one you see for the next 6 months. Then if you get pregnant within that time, I know it's my child. But telling a woman, go and let's do DNA test. Hmm. And sometimes there's this thing that says, oh, you don't know, don't hurt you.
But Nana,
Mm,
let's say quite all right to marry somebody you trust them.
mm,
I mean, we've seen so many videos of men wanting to fly out of the country,
mm,
especially to places like Canada, where they'll be like, do DNA test. In fact, the thing that Canada has cost in Nigeria,
mm.
Canada or the US, I don't know if the US does, but I know for
The
sure
US
Canada
doesn't.
does. So US will now say, do DNA tests for the child that you are bringing.
Mm-hmm.
Now carry pikin go do DNA. Out of three children, maybe one is his own or none. And you
So
expect
what
that
does he
man
want
not
to
to
do at
want
that
to
point?
die. Ah,
What does he want to do at that point? Kill them?
no, you see, the children are
Expose
not at
yourself?
fault. The women are the children are not at fault. But for a
That's
woman
it.
to bring three pregnancy, you sat through her cravings, her vex, her please, oh, their nannies, I'm coming to you. I can see you. Her vex, her everything, her cravings, calling you in the middle of the night, say, please go and ask the neighbor to bring jollof rice. You go, you with all your manly pride, you go to a neighbor, go and knock. Please, my wife wants your jollof rice. Please, she's pregnant. Then to find out that you've gone through all of that and the emotional thing that you're attached, to find out that this woman carry three belle committee for house. Haba.
But there's something else again, because I've heard stories like this. There were DNA tests that were carried out on some children, different families.
Mm-hmm.
And it was proven, according to the test, that the father isn't the biological father. And the first thing he did, of course, dance you off, you
Mm-hmm.
cheated on me. And the woman said she didn't cheat on him. What do you mean you didn't cheat on with DNA? In one instance, it was a case of chimera.
Yeah. And the other, they
Uh-huh.
carried the wrong child.
Thank you. So that happens. There's a nurse that confessed recently that she switched children in the world. She just did it out of for fun. I don't know. She's sick
Mm, mm.
because she just did it and she did it for years. So if you now go to the only way to really know if that child belongs to you or the family at all, you do a DNA test for the father. It doesn't belong to the father. Do also for the mother. Let's be sure it even belongs to the woman. Probably they mistook it in the hospital. Don't just attack the woman immediately. DNA didn't work and then you just go. So
But
it could be
wouldn't
one
it,
or the other.
yeah, but wouldn't it then eradicate that problem if DNA is done at birth?
Yes, it will eradicate that problem. True. Yes, but then if a woman that is worth her salt, if you start doubting her from maternity bed, let's go always. We can't forge ahead.
Ah, okay.
And there's a saying that says, see, if you don't trust that woman good enough, you can't vouch for her, then don't marry her. Then when you marry her, then vouch for her. It's as simple as that to me. Another thing is they said, I'm going to say this in Yoruba. They said, Ìyá ọmọ ló mọ ẹni tó bímọ fún. It's as simple as that.
That is basically the woman is the only one who knows who's the real father of her children.
So a woman can sleep with
But
two
that is
different
a
men.
woman who has not slept with two men in one day.
Even if she sleeps with two men in a day, she knows who the father of that child is. It's something you can't explain, but it's the way
Some
it
women
is.
have said they don't know that they didn't know they
No, they do. They do. They just maybe, I didn't know. They do. There's no way you wouldn't know now. There's something that will tell you about the child, who the biological father is, unless you don't want to accept it. You just want to push it on this person. You get. Ideally, women that do that are wicked. See, I'm a feminist, I'm a womanist, whatever, but I would say what women do wrong. Any woman that pushes a child that doesn't belong to her husband on him has done the greatest act of wickedness, because she has destroyed that child's life. I'm not even talking about the man now, it's that child's life that she has destroyed. Because if ever he grows up and finds out that that's not his father, it will destroy his life. That he's been living a lie. His mom that's supposed to be on his side has been telling him a lie. Where's it going to start from? I'm not even thinking about the man. No, man can give birth at any age, but what about that child? So yeah, ideally women, but men shouldn't just assume. Like somebody wrote now that a Nigerian woman, if you marry a Nigerian woman, please let's not do this now. Let's
Okay,
not do this.
so all in all, you are saying, DNA testing shouldn't be mandatory at birth.
No, I don't believe it should be mandatory. It should be a choice thing.
Okay.
You want to do it, do it. You don't feel offended, you don't feel it's going to offend you, do it. It's going to offend me if you tell me to do a DNA test. It's going to offend me.
But if it's mandatory, if the laws of the land has already made it that it is a law, you can't be offended by that.
I have the option of not giving birth at the back.
Then you have the option.
No matter. No
Okay.
matter. You can't make it mandatory in
You really
Nigeria.
feel very strong about this. Okay. The
No, I
Anani,
feel it's
can you?
insulting.
I don't know. I don't think.
I
I
think
just
it's
think
insulting.
I think it's a logical thing. I don't think
No,
it's
I
an
think it's an
insult.
insult to say I don't trust the child you bore for me is mine. That's the way to look at it.
The way I look at it is, if we have already gone ahead and done I think the reason why I think a lot of people think is an insult is because that thing of checking whether both parties are fertile was never on the table.
Okay, what if those that have done it and still go ahead and want to do DNA test? We've seen cases like that now. They did the compatibility test, they did the resource factor test, they did everything. And afterwards, they still went ahead, they want to do DNA. Hello? Didn't they say, well, okay, we can give birth? Then why are you asking again? So, yes, it be. Maybe the guy is doubting himself. Maybe in his heart of hearts, he's doubting himself.
The Ananis, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Abby. How
Hello.
have you been?
I'm hanging in there, but I'm doing
We
better
have
than
missed
before.
you so much. It's
Thank you. I've
it's so
missed
good to
you
see you
here
again.
too. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Hello,
what are you
everyone.
saying?
Hello.
It's such a Zivi is here.
Hello,
Hi.
CCO.
Hello. How you
How's
doing,
it? How's
madam?
everyone?
You've
I'm
heard what
fine.
Nana
The way
said.
you were dragging, the way she's dragging this DNA something. Is serious. So,
Okay,
So,
so
as in you're taking it personally and everything.
no, I can't take it personally. No man I give birth for can ever doubt me. Oh, go be there. Because the irony is every child I give birth to looks exactly like the father. Exactly like he one. So there's nothing. You want to doubt? Give him a kimia they go. You know, cause fight. We're not doing DNA. Accept or not.
Nana feels very strongly about anything that concerns woman. So
Ah
it's not
no.
a new thing. So
Ah.
you've heard what she said. What are your views? What's your response to this?
Okay. Let me start by saying I think I understand where she's coming from. I understand how disrespectful it could sound for a man to suddenly say, okay, madam, we have to do a DNA test for our kid or our kids, to determine their paternity. However, unfortunately, too, recent times have seen a lot of drama occurring. And I believe this is what has informed the rise in this thing that has almost become a trend now. You see, back in the day, I don't think it was so much of an issue for anyone to just out of the blues begin to think that they want a DNA test on the kids because to determine their their paternity. However, a lot of funny things have been going on in recent times. And I cannot say that these funny things that are going on now were not going on in the past, but I guess maybe with the advent of the internet technology and all of that, it is easier for such news to spread. And then as a result, it's easier for a lot more people to know what's going on around the world. So this is what I have to say. If someone is requesting for a DNA test to be done, a father or a husband is requesting for a DNA test to be done on the grounds that his friends are suggesting that he does it, that is absolutely wrong. If, however, he has his doubts, because in many cases there are doubts. There might not be doubts.
He has to travel and they say he needs to do it. Did you hear what I said?
Sorry, could you say that again? No, I didn't.
I said, or where he has to travel out and it's a requirement.
Okay, no, on that ground, that means I think that's almost like law. So one really doesn't have a choice in such cases. I'm actually wanting to focus on a situation where you do have a choice.
It's a personal
thing. if it's on grounds of suspicion, exactly. If it's on grounds of suspicion, I mean, then if I suspect that my wife has not been faithful at some point in our journey, maybe I just discovered something now, and I request for a paternity test, then I don't think it's out of place. Now, Madam is speaking from the perspective of women who are responsible, who are faithful, and in the past we would want to believe that all women were, especially in these parts of the world, Africa, where such things are not commonplace.
Let's not go into that one.
It doesn't seem to be the case. So,
I don't know. I didn't hear what you said, but the way he's talking about making me laugh.
When you said women were faithful before, you don't want to know. You never create over.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it seemed. That's how it seemed, So, but in this day and age,
they were coding it.
A lot of things happen. A lot of things happen, and it informs a lot. A man to maybe want to dig in a little bit to find out if these things the kids are actually his. So, in such a case where suspicion is rising, I think to just settle it and to put one's mind at rest, at ease, I think it's not a bad idea. However, how that is communicated also matters.
True.
Not that you just don't. True. True. You don't just come up and say, "Come, let's go." No. I mean, you have to communicate responsibly too, so it doesn't come off as an insult as well.
Exactly.
So these are my thoughts.
Would it be okay if the man secretly takes the samples from the children without discussing it with his wife to go and do the tests?
It's better safe.
No way.
Well, it's better. You don't need to let me know you doubt me. Carry the child and go and do. Seriously, no need to tell the wife.
Okay, Zimi is saying no. Oh yeah, why you're saying no way.
I wouldn't like that, because I think marriage the basis of marriage is trust, right? And that we can communicate to meet and agree to reach an agreement. So if you are secretly taking a specimen, that means you don't respect me, then you don't need my opinion on anything. So why are we married in the first place? So if I'm doing a gid and I'm not agreeing to that, that already shows that maybe your approach was wrong, or maybe I'm unfaithful, whatever the case is. But I think at least there should be an attempt to just try to even have a conversation to see if this wife would even nudge to agreeing, but secretly taking it, I find it disrespect. Because if eventually he runs the paternity and it comes out that the kids are his, I will scatter that
You
marriage.
wouldn't tell me now.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but
you
when
don't
you
understand
don't
what I'm saying.
know,
If, for example,
When you
and
don't
when
know.
I don't, as Tibam no new, but I'm just trying to say, if eventually maybe we've had that conversation before, and he's saying, "Oh, I would like us to do a paternity, for example," and I say, "Oh no," then he goes ahead to take the specimen, then he
Oh,
runs it, and finally discovers that the children are mine, and he had the F13 and God to come and tell me, "Oh, yadi yadi, I've done the test." Then that means you don't even respect me in the first
then
place.
that
mm,
man
That
self
mm,
is
marriage
not
is shaky.
that man himself
yes,
doesn't have this, because if
Ah,
you've
no,
discussed
no,
it with your
I don't
wife,
think you should. So.
yes, really. If you've spoken, I agree with you totally. If you have
Ah,
spoken with you and you said
no.
no, you shouldn't go and do it. But rather than talk to me, carry the children secretly and go and do. I don't need to know. You satisfied your curiosity. You satisfied your curiosity. You now know they are yours. I don't need to know that you ever doubted me. I don't need to know.
But,
So you
Ma,
find out they are yours.
sorry, I want to ask you, do you think that asking, because that, do you think asking for a paternity test do you think it necessarily means he doubts you?
Oh,
I
but
don't know,
of
you know, I'm
course
just
now.
thinking.
But of course, you're
Of
doing
course,
part. What does that mean? If the
you
United
want to
States
prove.
government tells you to do DNA test, it's because they want to be sure those children
Hmm.
belong to you. You're not claiming other people's children to bring to the US. That's why they're asking you for that. But for you to tell your wife you want to do a DNA test means you are doubting she had that pregnancy for you. You're doubting your wife was faithful. There's no other way to look at
Yeah.
it. So you are doubting. I don't mind your doubt. So we're all humans. We can doubt things. People doubt God that He exists. But carry the children secretly. Go and do. I don't need to know. You satisfy your curiosity. In fact, if you find out that they're not yours, perchance, do whatever you want to do. But you don't need to tell me. But I'm so sure they're yours. So go and do. And then at the end of the day, you satisfy. You don't need to come back and tell me, Ashe, these children are mine. I don't need to know. I never doubted they were yours.
Hmm.
So I think that's even a better thing.
True.
Rather than tell the wife, go and do it secretly. I think that I support that. I support that
I
wholeheartedly.
don't even know how I
Do
would feel if I
do it secretly and don't let me find out,
I
Nitenu.
thank you. Thank you. Don't let me find out from
but
beginning
if
to
you
end.
now find out what's going to happen.
Nothing.
So
He
if I now
respected me.
find out,
He expected me um, enough not to tell me he doubted me. He didn't look at me and say, I doubt you gave birth to the children for
I
me.
don't know
But he did it on his own. I respect that. I won't be angry.
Okay, so Nana, it won't bother you, but Zibi, it will bother you if you find out. Hello?
yes.
Now,
Yes, it will
wow,
bother me
okay.
if I find out that he's secretly disrespecting men.
But she said after discussing with her before, she said no.
No, that let's even say he just
Is
went and quietly took the children and did
No,
test.
Abby, she said if he had talked to her before and she said no, and he went ahead
okay,
secretly, that's where it will offend her.
Okay, yeah,
Hello?
it would annoy me. But even if we didn't talk about it before, it will still annoy me. It's like imagining my husband or my partner hacking into my phone without asking me questions. I don't even, that's how I see it.
So he
Because
should
if
tell you
you're
before hacking.
secretly, I know that
He
happens
should
as well.
tell you
You
before
just see some
hacking your
people, they
phone.
use all those their secret app to try to find out. You should no, no, no. What I'm
That's why
comparing it to, that I
better.
just feel that
Wait now,
I
wait.
find it disrespectful. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I find it disrespectful that you are doing something without my consent. That's the
I
point
get
I'm making,
you.
whether you ask me
I
before
feel
or
you.
not.
I get you. I get you. Really, I
So
do.
if you have a doubt, if you're doubting that your wife is faithful, right? Then you now go ahead to install a spy or something spy app on my phone. That one
Mm,
I feel you've taken it too far because
mm.
you've breached into. I don't.
Really unfaithful.
Oh,
Wait,
Gabi,
we
I
didn't
don't
hear
know
what you
about that
said.
one, no.
We didn't hear what you said. You said if it breaches your phone, that's where I heard you up to.
You know, go
I
better
know.
for this
So
network.
yeah, so I was comparing it to that. That if, for example, if a dog the network not good. I put a bug on my phone or a spy app on my phone. That's I also feel that I feel hurt because he has breached the he has just breached it. He hasn't asked for permission. It's not as if he's going to ask for permission, but that means he actually doubts me. So that's how I see this whole taking specimen thing as well. I don't it doesn't even make sense at
You
all.
know, for me, sorry to cut you short. For me, what I what I'll say is, you see, the idea that one wants to find out if the child is theirs or means that the room has been created for doubt already. Whether
Exactly.
the room is legitimate or not, room has been created. Now, we have some individuals, I don't even want to stick to men alone, that just because their wives are social, that alone triggers them to want to believe, nothing, there's no real nothing else is pointing to the fact that she's actually cheating, but because she's a social person,
Mm,
she interacts very well with people and maybe even men, which is natural. They just, it just starts thinking like, these kids might not be mine. you know
mm,
Sometimes even company, I don't want to call it good or bad company,
mm-hmm.
but company can also influence this. If as a guy, maybe the boys you hang out with every Friday, for example, amongst all of you, maybe like four out of five of you have all had that done, and you're the only person who hasn't had this done, and you guys discuss almost about just about anything. Somehow you begin to want to, just for the fact that everyone else has done it, you might
Mm,
want to start feeling that way. But it shouldn't be so. So there are different strokes for different folks. But the bottom line is, for there to be the thinking, the thought, for it to be noticed that I want a DNA test done, that
mm,
means that person has harbored somewhere in their hearts that there's doubt about the paternity of that child. So if the person is legitimate about their doubts, I mean, if it holds water, maybe for some reason the kids are not acting, you know, somehow, or maybe you found some incriminating text messages or emails, or maybe the wife has actually admitted to cheating in the past, but did not tell you whether the kids are yours or not. I mean, you have a legitimate right to want to find out, say, hey, babe, okay, fine, we've gone through this phase, that has passed, but I would really like to know if this
hey,
this
internet.
kid or this, if you want to know, you want to know, and something caused it.
Okay, now,
Sorry, network, right?
yeah, network, oh, but it's fine. We thank God that at least we are still catching up. Now, okay, there's one thing that came to
Okay.
my mind when Zibi was talking about putting a bug on spyware. I was talking to a friend. I will say a friend that we were just talking about. Oh, like romantic situation. Not romantic situation. No, let me not go there. Just a friend, and the person was saying, me, my own phone doesn't have any passwords. I've never had a password on my phone. Even when I was married, I never had a password. And in my own mind, I'm like, my own phone has password though. And even if I marry, it will continue to have password because it's always had a password. And besides, I have never been the snooping type into someone's phone because me, the way I am, if you are cheating on me, now you with your own mouth go can't tell me. You won't even know when you say it or leads me to the part of me catching you. I will catch you. I don't have to. I don't have to be checking anything. But I believe that everybody's phone, computer, whatever, unless it's a shared computer that both of you are agreed we are sharing this computer. But even then, you can share a computer and have separate pages on a computer. It's your private thing. Now, if the two of you decide that, look, oh, so that we are transparent, so that we don't give Satan room to come and build something, we want to keep it open. So we have the same password, the same this, the same that. By all means, fine. But if I've always had a password on my own phone and we now get together and I say, me, I don't have password on my own phone. Good luck to you. You don't. But me, I have password on my own. I'm not going to take it down. I'm not going to take it down because you don't have. I don't know if I'm making sense. Because I just think that's my phone. It's got nothing to do
Making
with you.
sense.
Why are you
You're
concerned
actually
about
making sense.
Why are you concerned about it having password or not? It's not your own. It's not yours. It's my own. So if maybe because of where I work, like the reason why I have a password is because when I was in college, some of these kids they know say this one belongs to this person, is not my own. If they see your phone and it's open, they will go into it and check. If you leave your phone and you step out to go and do something, they'll come and search inside because they think that everything is funny, that they can find something that is funny they can use to now be using to tease you up and down the whole place. So that's why I always kept a password on my phone. But everybody, and then so that thought just came to my head like, you touch my phone, I break your finger. Okay. So going back to DNA testing. Now, let's say, like we've seen in many cases where a man will go and, okay, like there's a video that I'm going to play eventually, but I just was trying to rush because of Nana. In the video, the man had gone to
I'm in the office. I'm in the office. My client is late, so I have more minutes to talk.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
The video is about 9 minutes, so I'm not going to waste your time. I'll just talk about it. The man had gone to do African traditional DNA detector, and it was confirmed that the woman was not faithful. So he went to go and call someone that my wife is not faithful, and I know that she's going to like, because I've confronted her with this thing, that I know that these children are not my own. And she has sworn up and down. Her mother even slapped me. That how dare I accuse her sainted daughter of cheating? And I've gone to do African DNA testing stuff. I'll still play the video. And the woman was like swearing up and down. She even started to cry that the man is trying to malign her name, is trying to spoil her character in the community. And what kind of husband is this one? She started crying. They're even petting her. Madam, is okay, stop crying. This one now was crying. I mean, God forgive me. The moment she started to cry, I was like, this woman is cheating. The moment she started to cry, I was like, this one is cheating. Forget it. So the man was like, look, I can prove that you are lying. She was like, prove it. What are you going to do? Because she never experienced it. You understand? She never knew that was the way the man was going to come. She thought maybe he was just going to be saying, I know you cheated, this, and then she'll be disproving it. That's why the man threw the thing at her. Next, this woman landed on the ground, started to count like she like witch. Was like, it's because you're not at home, so it's your friend. The children belong to your friend. In fact, 2 children belong to one friend, then another friend has the third child because there are 3 children. That none of the children are yours. 2 belongs to Kiniko, 1 belongs to Kiniko. She gave the whole lowdown. So the guy that came was not afraid that is this thing like this? So he now said, what's the antidote? They said to put palm oil in her mouth. So they put palm oil. When this woman came back to normalcy and they were like, madam, so you cheated. She was like, no, I didn't. She said, look, we filmed you so that you cannot deny. They now played the video for her. She now started to cry. And the husband should forgive her. He shouldn't expose her to the public and this and that and that. Some people said it's a skit. Some people said it is true. But we do know that there are African traditional ways of finding these things out. So when a man goes through that process and finds out that either one or none of the kids are his own, what do you think? Because it's these instances that has made men start shouting that DNA should be made mandatory. What are your views on that, on something like that, on a scenario like that? If this was a family member finding out that their partner had been bringing strange children home, what would be your response? Let's make it personal. Let's say it's a family member that found this out. What would you say? Nana? No. Okay, maybe her client is there. Their nannies.
Yes, we're here.
So I've asked the question now. What would you say if it was your own family member that discovered that either one or none of their children belongs to them? through DNA.
Hmm.
As if he's like, hey,
Let me do the talk now. What I want to say.
It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. As much as I these things are just complicated for me. It's just it's difficult, and unfortunately, faithfulness is no longer a thing. People no longer value it. It's not something that people, it's almost like if you are faithful now,
Even when you preach it,
you
people
are
just go like, this
you
one
are
never
odd.
just.
It goes both ways, both for men and even for women. Because there are things I've discovered lately about some female friends who were close to me that made me to automatically say they will not even come to my house again.
hmm,
If I had known that they operate in that way, married women,
hmm.
not single, married. So and they act like they are still single, hanging out with
Hey, it's
different
not just
men.
single people, oh, I beg. We have morals.
So so it's in such a case. Well, I think I'll by all means encourage. Since this is someone we're talking about, someone who is close here, my family, I guess. I will encourage. As a matter of fact, I will chastise him for not having that done a lot earlier. You
Mm,
know, you see, the honest truth is this. Why this thing is complex. Why it is so complex is because there are different people with how they act and react, how they
mm,
behave, how different homes are run.
mm,
Some husbands can afford to leave their wife, relocate to another country for greener pastures,
mm-hmm.
and they will have absolutely no problem with it. They are confident, and then it still turns out that those wives cheat. There are those who will leave and might be jittery about leaving, and their wives are not cheating. They are faithful. So it's a bit of this and that here and there.
Mm,
There are husbands who engage their partners in lifestyles, quote and unquote, that in their absence they would want to keep up with. Let me give you an example. There are couples who go clubbing frequently, and I have absolutely nothing. I find absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you are going out with your wife, to have fun and stuff. But now, who is this your wife or who is this your husband? Can that person do without that lifestyle in your absence? Because we all know that when we find ourselves in certain places, especially if we don't have any more like a watchdog, something that just like it's a ticker that says this thing, if I do this it will be off limits, then you can just slip, just a little, just it's not like it's intended. Sometimes you can just a little indulgence and you could slip. And this has happened to someone I know very closely. um he traveled out of the country and then came back to find his wife pregnant.
hey.
After investigation, yes. So it was not him. It was not him. And
Mm,
then his wife confessed to him eventually, after pressures, that it was his friend that got her pregnant, like his friend and business partner. So he's still married to her after 20 plus years. The child is still bearing his name,
mm,
but he told the friend that he never wants to see him again, that anywhere he sees him, he will kill him.
mm.
Now man be that too.
So,
Ma-
yes, he
Wale.
still keeps that. He had this,
Wale.
Wale.
yes, they had other children. They had two more kids after that guy, you know. So, but this is just one. I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale, because
No,
not
it's
very many
not.
people will. No, not what I said. Say this is not many people will do this. Not
Oh,
many
yes,
people will
that's
do this.
true.
So it's It's just a whole lot in the
I have a
dynamics of. Please
sorry.
go
Oh,
ahead.
no, I have a friend too. Who this is my own friend, but if the way I respect him now, hey God, because when he was telling me, my mouth dropped like, eh, because it was like they were together for years, no picking, going up and down, that kind of thing. Like this guy actively, seriously trying to like just have a child and everything, and all of that, you know. And then he had traveled for some treatments, like okay, maybe na me get problem or whatever, like just trying, and been away for over 6 months. Wife can't call him, she get belly of 3 months, unless they post this thing. But he came home, assumed responsibility, and the crazy thing, the pikin resemble him, you know,
Wow.
res- assume responsibility, everything, all of that. And in fact, I've never seen a man love his child the way he loves this girl. He love her die. She don't get sister, oh, but
Wow.
that one is actually the apple of the papa eye.
Hmm.
All
So,
right.
and
It makes sense. It happens.
obviously that child is not his own, because he don't travel tete before Bele land. But
Mm.
you know, the way he loves his daughter is just crazy. So this year saying it is rare, but I
Mm. It
see am
happens.
like paddy gong gong. You understand? So sometimes I just wonder if you had a discussion,
Mm.
because if a couple are struggling with having children, right? And cause see now, the man self go down, go try outside, because it's a normal thing, especially with men
You
from our
said what I wanted to say.
they will go
Got
and
it.
try outside. So if the woman too is like, "Wow, we are together in this thing, we no get belle, you go try, make me self go try. Then anyone will score, we go bring and come house. Let it be an agreement." You understand? I think is the subterfuge that men. I want one thing I've noticed about men. I was telling my friend, Mr. Solomon, I said men cannot take the things that they offer women. Because if a man goes outside to go and get a woman pregnant, even if the wife has not seen the pregnant woman, he'll go and call his family people and be like, follow me and go and beg my wife. I did something bad. I got one woman somewhere pregnant. They'll now gather themselves. Your husband is a good man, no, but he went and made mistake. And
Mm-hmm.
this one, what did you do,
Okay.
my dear? What? Tell me now. I say, we want you to forgive him, man. This one. Sha, when they talk long and short, your husband gave woman belle, and at the end of the day, the family will now do like, if she does not accept, they'll be like, you two, you they overdo. We don't beg you. Wait till they find again. What do you need? A child will bring another child in. Which one have you given birth to? They went and finally got a child to bring into this house, and you are saying, no, you not agree. So you want this house to remain barren. But let a woman go and get belle and call her people to come and beg the man. He will behead everybody. That you want to bring a bastard into my home, but the one you brought into the home, the woman accepted. Oh. So that's where that whole thing can be quite weird. I think Nana's whatever is coming, but if not, she will join us at some point. So these things can be quite weird in the way that the genders, the sexes, because they'll be like, if a man has a family, he cannot hide it from a woman, unlike how a woman can hide a child into a man's family. But we've heard of cases where until a man dies, that's when you will not hear that there's a whole nother family somewhere. And he has conveniently waited till he died before letting anybody knows. So the woman has no choice now. What is she going to do? It even happened to one of these former beauty queens of Nigeria. Have you forgotten her name? Helen Prest. I think it's Helen Prest. Ananis, I'm here by myself.
No, we are
No,
here. We
we're
are here.
here.
Oh.
Oh.
You remember Helen Press now?
Yes, I remember that name.
That beauty queen. You know, that whole thing came with. Although I don't think their own was.
What happened to her?
Yes, yes.
I think the man was married, had a
Mm.
family, and then he now went to Helen Prest and her own children. And it was now at the gravesite that fights now ensued on who was going to put sand on the man and one thing. Sha, two families collided at the funeral site.
I think what happened was she wanted to. Sorry, my client came in, so I can
No,
attend
no,
to him,
no.
but we can talk. I'm
Yeah.
bribing him. It's a children's learning center, so I'm bribing my client, and we can talk. So anyway, what happened was I think because she was the wife, the
Mhm.
wife as at what they call that thing when he died, she was the wife
Yeah,
present.
yeah, yeah.
So she wanted to be the one to pour the sand first, and the daughters, they are older than her, I think, or
Mhm.
thereabouts. So they felt she shouldn't be the one; it should be their mother.
But their mother is no longer married to the man.
She's no longer married to the,
Eh,
maybe you know how it is in Nigeria. I think there's no clear cut divorce. I don't know, maybe something shady about the divorce, but she wasn't living with the man at the time of his
okay,
death.
they
So
separated.
they felt it was an insult on their mother for Helen First to be the one to do that. That was it.
Okay, so it's not a paternity case, but as I said, Kasala can bust at grave site at any time where a family will just show up and you'll be like, who are these people that are coming here? They're all wearing uniform and they are coming to come and stand in front. And of course, the man will always let one of his sisters or his uncle or something know. So that when they now show and the wife is going, who are these people? You'll be like, just calm yourself. Calm yourself down. They're his family. So they usually know, but the woman will be left in the dark. And yet, this woman is expected to accept this new family. But God help a woman, she brings a child into a home. Sometimes, because Nana was laughing. You know why Nana was laughing when people were talking about in the olden times? Because, in fact, it is coming to light that a lot of the mothers of olden time
And royalty.
and royalty, mothers of olden time and royalty. Now outside they go bring the pikin come. Especially like with royalty where they're like, oh, they need a son, they need a son. And KBSC only keeps firing women into the woman because again, it is whatever the man puts in the woman that she will give birth to. The woman has no control over the gender of the child. So when KBS is only putting women, she will now go and test his Basharu, his warlord. That at least this one is warlord, maybe, and his wife has sons. So maybe he will put son. Basharu will now slap a son inside. She will now carry it to KBS. KBS say, oh, finally, we now have a head to the throne. So there are so many instances of it that if people were to start doing DNA, if our parents should start doing DNA now, plenty things will happen. You're on our Mongolo croonings, whatever. You do know of one of our members he has 16 siblings, and he actually said that at one point in time they told him to go and conduct DNA tests on all his siblings, that they will find out that some of them don't belong to the Baba. It's like the Baba has accepted everybody. Which one is DNA test again? You understand? So I think this thing get hand, but oh, sorry, that's my medication. But let me read out comments. Let me read out comments and then we'll continue this discourse. Okay. Zibi,
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm going to somebody has joined us. Tolu. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for joining. Why are you looking scared?
I didn't know I even joined in.
You didn't know you joined it. Oh, you joined in, no. So you give
I
us
was just
your
fitting with this new instrument here.
okay. Anyways, let me read out the comments. Zibi, you're going to help me. So can you start from okay? I'll be highlighting it and you'll be reading out loud. Yeah, is that okay,
Okay.
Zibi? Okay. So can you read that out, please?
Okay. From the very first one, right?
No, the one that is on the screen. The one that is on the screen.
Can I see any?
In the corner here, where the mouse is. Can you see where my mouse is?
Most men break. Is that what one from Mavis Wilcox? That
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So Mavis says most women break the trust.
Yes. And then the next one.
That's what yeah. This is from Shitu
For Aurora.
Fowora. I really can't see it.
Okay, Louis, if you can read
Um,
it.
that one is
Where are your glasses?
what? I'll try. So it says the rise in paternity tests in Nigeria may not be unconnected with the jackpot thing for many families. Ordinarily, men will not go out of their way trying to look for what isn't missing. That's from Shitu.
That's true. That's true.
He also says, but a mischievous person seeking to have his way with the woman may set up contra
Contraption.
contraption to cause the man to doubt his wife or wife to doubt her husband.
Mm-hmm.
His objective is to gain access through the open wall of doubt or mistrust. DNA testing can help address uncertainties and contribute to resolving legal, emotional, and financial matters. True.
Mm-hmm.
Again, in certain legal contexts, such as child custody, child support, or inheritance cases, establishing biological parentage through DNA testing become essential. There are issues here and there.
That is so true. Yeah, I mean that very last comment there. There's a family member that is very close who now the woman had insinuated during pregnancy that I have a boyfriend though, at some points, and then had this child for this family member. And I was like, I was of the opinion, I said, look, do a DNA test. Not because, in fact, having the child is a beautiful thing. To me, children are amazing. I don't see any reason why anybody won't want a child. But I just felt, look, so that you don't get roped into caring for what doesn't belong to you. And because this person wants you in their life, they now hook this child on your neck. Check and be sure. But the person was like, look, I'm very certain this is my kid. I do not want to do a DNA and all of that. And they didn't do it. And that is their choice. You understand? That is their choice. And they're entitled to it. And in fact, when I look at the child, yes, the child looks very much like them. So, that's a gut instinct. However, for some men, they will say, oh no, this child, no, this is my child, this is that, I trust my wife. And then something will happen in the future that will make them to now go ahead and have a DNA test. Then they find out the child is not their own. They now start to have palpitations and hypertension. But brother, you were told to check this thing. Abby? So in that situation, what are your thoughts? Because Lois is laughing like, Abby, stop bringing all these crazy things, Jare. And we will look at it all. And then I have one other comment to read here, but yes, continue. Louis, talk now.
Okay, so this is okay.
No.
Okay, do you want me to read the comments?
No, I was saying that in a situation where the man had the opportunity to do DNA when he was a baby, and he insisted that no, I trust my wife. Then, after some years, DNA now had to happen, maybe because of traveling, like how Shitu said. He now come and say the pikin no be your own. Does he have any right to be offended? Because the opportunity came to DNA.
Okay. Again, this is it's not. It's not a yes or no answer, and this is why I say so. Now, at the time he was saying, no, 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 the child is mine, he believed the child was his.
Mm.
He had absolutely no reason to doubt that the child was his at that time. Otherwise, he would have said, what if it's not mine? Let me go ahead. Or, except if it was as a result of financial reasons that he had to agree that the child was his.
Mm.
Otherwise, if it was based on, the natural trust he harbored for his partner, then I mean, I think it was good for him to feel that way. He's excused to feel that way. If for some reason in the future the DNA proves otherwise, I always say something, and this is me speaking for myself.
Mm.
They say DNA is they say 90, I don't know if it's 99% accurate or 90 something percent accurate,
99.9.
but
99.9 accurate.
99, 99.9. I will leave that remaining percentage open for error. That is me speaking for
Mm.
myself. If I at one point didn't have any iota of doubt in my heart that the kids are mine, and then for reasons that are not related to infidelity or suspicion or cheating, I now am presented with a sheet of paper that says that the kids are not mine, I will not believe what that DNA says. This is Louis speaking. Call me crazy, but this is me.
Oh,
That's me. And I don't think there's anything that can convince me otherwise. Even if they do 20 DNAs, I would still believe that there is room for error.
okay.
That's me. Oh. uh So, and I know I'm already tagged the crazy person in my family. Anyway,
No, are you
that
be
is a
different
normal
man
thing.
now. Leave
But
things.
these are just my thing.
Nana, you popped up as soon as Louis said.
Sorry, I'm in between
No,
sessions.
no, no, no. So you heard what Louis said, that even if they do 20 DNAs, that
Mm.
Louis is saying, if they do 20 DNA saying that those kids are not his own, he will not believe it because he will
Yeah, now there
always.
are people like that now.
Mhm.
There are people like that.
And it's actually true because
Mm.
sometimes science can be quite weird,
Like we
depending.
said, the chimera thing, but
Yeah, exactly.
remember that other couple? Remember, we were talking about it recently, I think some months ago. The couple that had the Caucasian baby, the black couple that had the
Yes,
Caucasian baby.
yes, yes. A black couple, and the woman got pregnant and everything, and they've been waiting for a child for a while. And then the woman got pregnant, and she had a baby, and the
Look
baby
at what
was
you're putting. Look.
albino white. And of course, people were like, she has cheated, she has gone and done okukurekwe with a white man because they live in the UK. And they were like, she has not cooked. Even the nurses were like, did she thief the child?
Man,
The
blonde,
child
blue
is
eyes and
white.
blonde hair. Blue
Eh,
eyes, blonde hair.
it's not mixed race, so it's not mixed race. Hello, Sasha. Thanks for joining. The child isn't mixed race. The child is white. So they were like, it's a lie. This woman has
As
gone
white
and
as they
done one
come.
thing, one thing. But they did DNA and the baby is theirs. Recessive gene. Recessive gene from both of them, where there had been some white person in their family for a long, long time ago, and the two just collided and came out with white baby. The baby is theirs. It carries both their DNA, but baby is white. So science can be weird. It really can be weird. So I want to read out this
And just
comment.
just to add to what you said,
Okay.
please, pardon me. I actually saw I saw something online about 6 to 8 months ago about a woman who gave birth to a child, and the state, it was one state in the US that was actually
Internet is not.
Network,
and who
man.
actually saw her deliver the child. And they said the DNA of the child does not match with hers. They did multiple DNA tests, and the DNA test did not match with hers. But this was the child she gave birth to.
That's chimera.
Chimera.
That's the chimera one.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a scientific condition where the woman's DNA differs from the child that she actually gives birth to.
Yes,
It
because the
is only
child
in
has two DNA streets, or what they call it,
yes.
strands. So that's the chimera. So whichever one pops up as at the time of the test is what goes. So there are two different DNAs. One is more like on the surface than the other.
So they have to do a special test to actually figure out that yes, that is the mother to the child. So
Mm,
it's a special test, but it's not a normal
mm,
regular DNA. Because if it's normal regular DNA, even if they see the pikin, they come out of the woman like this, and she know there is a surrogate. She's not a surrogate, whatever. And they do the test. The baby's DNA is going to be different from the mother, not even the father now, the mother.
mm-hmm.
And she's the one that gave birth to the child, and it's not surrogacy. Now it's her and her husband that came together, made the baby, but the baby will not have the same DNA strand as her own. So it's called chimera. It's weird. So science is weird. So honestly, I totally agree with you that even if you do 30 DNA tests, if you know that you know that you know that you know, it might be actually worthwhile to ask, or to either ask for further tests that checks for something else, or just be like, you know what, they talk their own. This is my child. I'm not even thinking about it, you know. So it's either one of those. Now, Mr. Solomon sent me a, because apparently they tried to put it on YouTube, but it didn't go, excuse me, it didn't go through. So the comment is, if making the tests mandatory will prevent having doubts and bring peace, it should be made mandatory. Once it's made mandatory, it will be accepted by everybody and will be seen as a step to follow rather than being seen as a stigma. And it's true. Oh, the Ananis, oh, where are they? And it is true. Nana, that's why I was saying that. If it is made mandatory, hello, Sasha.
Hi,
Hi, hi. So
right, that's
if DNA testing is made mandatory, that it is now a law in the country. Anytime a woman gives birth, before they are discharged, DNA testing must be done. There will be
Okay.
uproar. People will shout. But after a while, people get used to it.
I don't think it's going to happen in the USA anyway.
Why
And I'll
don't
tell you why.
Okay, yeah.
When a woman gives birth in the hospital, they really don't ask who the father is. The birth certificate given at the hospital at the time of birth does not include a space for father's name. It's the mother's name. The tag put on the baby's hand and legs and all that is the mother. The certificate given by the hospital is the mother's name. There's no column for father's name. But when you want to get the government issued one, and that's when you can now talk about father. But mother, that's why at any time the mother owns the child in the United States. So whether or not you do DNA, if she says she wants to deny it, that's your own prerogative. The government will take care of their own. So I don't think well, who knows? But it will sell here, sir. It will sell here.
Isn't that a bit unfair on fathers who are then made to pay? No, when
it comes to child support thing, then they can choose to do the DNA for that. But again, there's even a clause. If you were living with that woman and you were there, like you were living together at the time she gave birth and you were in that hospital there, man, you own that child. Dude. She lived with you when she had that child, when she conceived, you own the child. You are still going to give her child support. When you want to take it to, some people go to court, they make a big case out of it, and then DNA comes in. That even if the DNA says it's not yours, for the simple we're living together, you shared things together, you still are entitled. She's still entitled to something from you.
Okay.
It's a woman's world out here, man.
Hold on. So I just wanna understand. I wanna understand this. So if a man knows for sure, thank you. I'm confused. That's why the bullet was about to fly. So if a man knows for sure that he's not the father of the woman's pregnancy, but by the virtue of her living in the same house with him, he is now going to be paying support.
Yeah, she lives with him.
I swear that the day I find out that you are pregnant, that's the day you're leaving my house.
Like,
yeah,
you know, to be sure, like most of the time, okay, who knows if they both own the house, who is going to leave? At the man they work now. Is the man going to leave?
The house. No, I'm not paying you, Jack.
She doesn't want to sell the house. She wants to live there with the child. The government will support her because she needs the roof with the child.
Give me the value of my own half. Let me go.
Oh, story. Why do you think women come here? They don't want to go back. No, but jokes apart. No, there are situations that doesn't apply. But I'm just saying the general rule. But you know, some cases are always different. Cases are always different.
Let me bring Louis to come back. Because even me as a woman, I did not give you belly. So because you're living in my house, for me and you own a house together, I will not be paying child support on child that I know is not my own.
Yeah, she will do. Unless you want to leave the house for her and the baby.
Leave the house. I will leave.
She will leave you. Bye bye.
I will leave.
You forfeit. You forfeit the house here.
No, me forfeit the house. You will give me my own value of the house.
You go shock him. Forfeit the house. They will even ban me from coming 100 meters to the house.
But
the woman's world out here.
But my name is on the house.
You chose to walk out. You chose to walk out.
So I cannot sell a house and my name is on it.
No, are you the only owner? You can't sell a house in the absence of the other owner now. The way no one buy it.
Me now. Give me my money. Let me go.
She doesn't have the money to give you, so you have to stay there or lose the house.
We die,
Cause you man.
I swear, somebody will die. So you will not collect belly from the outside. They still chase me out of my own house again because I don't want to pay for belly that is not my own. I mean,
so just walk away.
Walk away from what house that I suffer to. Do you know how many years I came to get to build that house?
No, but it's seriously, if you want to pursue a case in that scenario, you can decide to do DNA and insist that because the DNA says this is you could pay her, you know, maintenance. He could maintain, but he's not going to cater for that child. No, if they live together. No, they live together now, so he has to.
You were living together and you want to go and be unfaithful. So leaving me and you are living is not enough for you. Now I have to carry your ass to go and give another man. Part of my entitlement as me and you living together in the same house is that your ass belongs to me and me alone. But you want to go and do distributionship, and I'm supposed to still give you maintenance. Go and collect it from the person you want to give it to. Nonsense. I mean, Louis, what are you saying?
You are speaking my mind, Gary. I am very much with you.
No, seriously. I'm telling you, Americans, they think backward. No, seriously. Me and you are in a relationship. We have agreed that me and you are together in this house. You're not going to carry yourself to go and get belly outside. And I'm supposed to be giving you maintenance. For what? Nana?
But sorry, I froze because someone came in, so I don't want to continue talking.
This is why I live in America.
No, but jokes, as I said, seriously, if he wants to make a case, he gets a good lawyer, he goes to court and they fight it out. There's nothing the law can do, really.
Sasha.
So even if this is there's nothing the law can do.
Okay, Sasha, what are your thoughts on this? Are you aligning with the American way, or you're on the right side, the British way?
I've not well. So this law in America, excuse me. Explain this to me again, please.
Nana. Oh yeah, please. Sasha wants you to explain it because it's giving all of us headache. Please come on, explain it.
Where do I start from again? That's what I didn't understand. Where do I start from? You heard the explanation there.
No, she said you should explain it again to her that when a man, start from there. When a man
does what?
is living with a woman.
Mhm.
What am I saying? Explain what you said now.
When a man lives with a woman, it's naturally assumed that he's the father of the child. Even if he says he's not the father of the child, you have to prove you're not the father. And then even if you prove you're not the father of the child by DNA test, because that's the only acceptable way, you have to like get a court issue going on, because just you present DNA and so what. But then on a normal day, you do the DNA, it's not your child, but the woman lived with you, she conceived while you were living together, you still have a duty on her and the baby because they live with you.
Oh yeah.
If you choose, you don't want to pay anything to the child for the child anyway. You can go to court and base it on the DNA test and stuff. You get.
But he will still be paying the unfaithful woman.
They live together. They're in a relationship.
No, she should not live with the person that she went to get Bele from. She should move there. I will change the lock. So, Sasha, what do you say?
It depends. Different sets of sort of situations here, because is the natural birth father? Are they supporting the child?
No, because apparently he's off the hook. The woman wasn't living with him. So what about the real father, the biological father? Does he have any obligation?
It's her choice. It's her choice. If she wants the biological father to give child support, fine, he can do that. She could ask the government. Government would gladly do it too.
So she'll be collecting support from 2 places.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Hey!
If there are government policies that she can get from to support whatever the father gives as child support, because the child support might not be enough for the child, and then the government can substitute, or the child support substitute what the government is giving, both ways.
No, I'm saying, so the man that she's living with, or her husband, and the man that gave birth, that actually owns
they can't both pay at the same time.
Oh, they can't both pay.
No. If she's collecting from the man she's living with, then the biological father can't pay again. But if she's collecting from the biological father, then this man she's living with cannot pay. It's one or the other.
You see, if that's the case and I'm in America, I'm a rolling stone, I will not live with any woman. I'll just be distributing picking up and down.
Oh, but that's what they do.
Hey!
You see, a man of my age is a baby daddy to like 20 children.
And he's not taking care of one of them.
No, because the government will take care of them.
Jeez, Luigi.
The government will take care of them. So all you hear is baby daddy, baby daddy. He will probably tell you, I have 20 kids. And you're like, how did you have 20 children? Because the government is taking care of them. So you just hear this one, my baby daddy, they're like, this is summer now. So everybody like at cookouts and all that. That's my baby daddy. You see like 5 women. That's my baby daddy. No hard feelings. Government is taking care of these children.
No, but I'm saying, okay, so it's government, not the men that the women live with.
The men that the women live with. If the woman insists that the man, because she's living with him, she's in a relationship with the man, he has to do that. It's the woman's choice.
She went and fucked around. I'm sorry. The moment she went to sleep with another man, that relationship is over. Which one is?
Then let him walk away now. He doesn't have to complicate his life.
The one who walked out of the house, she should be the one to walk away.
Because this same guy now probably has a baby mama somewhere else too. Life is complicated here. Life is very complicated.
But what if he doesn't?
What?
But what if he doesn't? What if he actually doesn't have a baby mama somewhere else?
Yes, so he makes a choice. Do you want to take care of this child that doesn't belong to you because you're in a relationship with the mother? Or do you not want to, and then you move out of the relationship? It's a choice. Nobody's forcing him to do what he doesn't want to do.
So, I'm sorry, I'm acting really stupid here, but because I'm trying to understand. So, some women will go and start a relationship with a man just so that they can have a place to stay, and the man can be giving them money.
She necessarily doesn't, how they speak the English, doesn't have to collect from the man. As soon as a woman, an American citizen, gets pregnant, the government will cater for her if she has nobody to cater for her. You get?
Okay.
The government will cater for her. They will provide accommodation for her. They will provide monthly stipends for her. It's done. If she has no option. So that's why it's easy for men to distribute, because they know the woman will fend, like she'll survive somehow. She'll survive. And the women, I don't want to use any derogatory word, but I mean, if you know you're going to get pregnant for an irresponsible man, why bother? Really? Why put the burden on the government? Where we taxpayers now, we have to pay for your children. And you're not paying tax. So, but that's how it is. That's how it goes, unfortunately.
Okay. My brain is still
trying to wrap itself around.
You know, when a brain is glitching, my brain is glitching. Louis, over to you. Discuss it. Because I don't know what to say again.
That one is hard though. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. I don't know.
Hey Joe, why are men even bothering to stay in America? I can't live there. And I'm a woman. And apparently the system will actually benefit me, but
yes, it will benefit the woman.
Yeah, you see, I'm sure it's not news that forgive me for saying this, but a good number of women have actually turned this to some sort of hustle, where because they understand that the government favors them in this regard, they do as they please, and when push comes to shove, they decide to maybe put the guy out of the house. The house she probably does not know how he acquired, and it's become the world has just become wicked. I'm tired. I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so this is it. Like, you want to do a DNA test. Okay, so you want to do a DNA test here. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to do this DNA test. Okay, I choose not to do it. You don't want to take care. No problem. I'm having a divorce. You leave the house. I mean, you spent your whole life in the United States building that house or getting that house. And then the wife will tell you, see, I'm not doing DNA. You don't believe this child is yours. Get out. I want a divorce. The man, the moment she mentions she wants a divorce, separation starts. He has to move out. So you see, DNA, let's not bring it to some places. Let it be by choice.
Okay,
let it be by choice.
I want to ask, why would a man, why does the country, but why does the country make it, and we've moved away from DNA a bit, why does the country say that a man will build a house? Because in America, people actually build houses. It's not like of course they buy, unlike in the UK, it is rare to actually build a house. Just go and buy. But someone will build a house, then do what normal human beings do: fall in love, get a woman into the house, that kind of thing, and then the woman will go and do something contrary to the agreement that the two of them had. And yet it's the man that has to leave his house. Now the woman go do the wrong thing, but it's the man that has to leave his house for her. Like, who?
But we have exceptional cases though. There are exceptional cases. Like everything in law, there's always exceptional. There are some cases that it doesn't end up like that. You get, the woman will leave. But then again, we've seen a lot of cases where it's the woman that worked. She worked hard, she slaved. The man is a couch person, stays all day on the couch, watch TV. The woman goes to work 2 shifts, 3 shifts. She makes the money, she brings it home. Next thing, the woman falls down and dies.
I'm sorry, I cannot even live in a house where somebody is on the couch.
No, I mean, she's being nice. She's nice. She's in love. She's everything. Wait now. Then at the end of the day, she falls and dies. And she has this wonderful package as what's this insurance that people do?
Insurance. I mean, life insurance.
Life insurance. And then who gets the life insurance?
Wait, but if she has kids, she can make it go to her children, right?
automatically it's the husband and the children. Like
No,
especially in the states.
Specify that you should go to her children.
Yes, but if the children are underage, they still can have access to it. The
Can she
spouse.
specify that somebody else be in charge of it and not her husband?
It can be overruled.
If I
It can
put
be
it there,
overruled.
it's a native so and so, and that's why
Yeah, it can be overruled. And even if they say, okay, see, you know what, it's going to be in the trust of social person until the children get to maturity. That means that money anyway is going to be there. It's going to be held there. But in most cases, it's not like that, because automatically, if there's no will, if somebody dies interstate or how they call it, without a will, the person's automatically in most states, especially the one I live in, the properties and estates and everything of the deceased goes to the spouse and children.
You see, this is why it's important. Right wills, oh.
Yes, but even regardless, it can still be overruled because this is the law of the state, wife and children. So that means it's to prevent actually on a normal day. You know, people are supposed to be normal. We're looking at normal situations. We don't want in-laws to come in and take the thing, or brother or cousin or something who does not. So they're trying to favor the family, the closest family members, which is the spouse and the children in the normal situation. So that's why it's like that. And it's similar to Sharia law too, which is that wife and children and parents, if the parents are still alive. That's all. So that it prevents sister-in-laws from, they didn't like the wife. They want to overshadow things. They want to take everything from her. Remember how it happened during that C-130 crash now?
Yes,
remember that time?
Yes. It was horrible.
They want to prevent things like that, so that nobody that didn't suffer with this man, that is not entitled, will get. But unfortunately, things could go the wrong way. The intention is good, but it could just turn right. The man knows that, the money is coming to me. As soon as this woman falls and dies, she can fall and die. When I want her to fall and die, she'll fall and die. Wow. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So we've had many cases like that. Many cases like that, that the man ends up with the house and the money the woman has worked hard for, neglects the children they even had together, marries another wife, things like that. So it's both ways. The women sometimes are the ones at the advantage, because it's like they're cheating the men. Other times it's the men cheating the women. So it's both ways, really. All in all, it is wrong. Simple and short. It is wrong.
I mean, if someone has built a house and then they bring another person in, and then that person breaks the trust, I think it's only right that they move out. I mean, but if it's a case that two people built it together, man and his wife built it together, then and one person breaks the agreement,
this is what I've been trying to remember. Prenup. That's why people do prenup. Yes. The prenup protects that. That means you are not entitled to what I have. Maybe while we're married, whatever I gathered while we're married, maybe you are entitled. So that means I built all my houses before we got married. So by the time we got married, I didn't build any house. That means when I die or whatever, we divorce, all you get is nothing. Because all those ones.
I was talking this thing, I now remembered. It's not that. Imagine a man and a woman come together, they build a house, they build their family, and then the man goes to cheat. It is naturally expected that the man will leave because, he's the one that broke the vow. And the woman is like, I'm at home with the kids and everything. So if a man and a woman build a house together, and the woman goes to go and cheat outside, then it will be expected that she'll be the one to move out, and he and the kids will stay in the house.
Yes, in most cases it's like that.
Okay.
Most cases, when the cheating person is the one that leaves, so the man could have naturally custody goes to the woman in most cases, like 9 out of 10 times. But if it's based on cheating, usually the custody goes to the man. Okay. So when you hear, like in a divorce case, custody goes to the man, in most cases, you don't have to get the details, but probably she was caught cheating.
So then why would he not be paying the woman child support for pregnancy she got for someone else?
Yes, as I said,
But
if he decides to take up, a case, he does DNA and decides to pursue it. It's not cheap. A lot of people just, you know what, whatever you want me to do, let's just, people are living together. I don't want to have to go through this court case. Because a lot of people have skeletons in their cupboard. And the lawyer will dig it out, man. You bring out everything. See, that tax you've not paid for 10 years, you're going to pay it today. Should you've not paid tax in 10 years, you don't want to pay, you don't want to be taking care of that child. What you pay is more. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, but I'll pay it once. I won't pay for 8 years.
How can you pay? Like, if the person has been, or if what is expected for the person to pay, for example, is $10,000, I'm just giving a rough example, and the tax he owes the government is $50,000, which one is cheaper?
But you see that $50,000, the government will still allow me to pay it in installments.
But that's the same way you're going to pay in installments for the child.
That one is 18 years, 50,000. I won't use 18 years to pay 50,000.
What if he doesn't have that kind of money now? He's a normal average guy. You see, sometimes they just weigh it. Which one will pay me more? As soon as the boy is 18, you like Jackpa now, Sheboton, you can't talk anymore, or at a certain age. See, people take what will profit them more. So if living with the woman and what does it take? Buying grocery every week? School fees is school free now. School is free here. Government school is free. Okay, fine. Just to buy groceries and to buy 1 or 2 shirts every other month. What it be? No problem. It's cheaper for me than having to, So they weigh it. And they're paying for lawyer. Hey, I said the cost of going to court. The cost of going to court is just like, you know what, let me just do. Should be taking care of the boy. Kofaja. No problem. That's cheaper for me. So that's why some people do that. Some people are egg-headed. See, you know what? I don't mind. I'll go bankrupt. If I'll go to prison on this matter, I'm going to pursue this case. They can do that. You get?
Okay. So, now back to the topic so that we can round up because we're running out of time. So, now, from everything we've looked at, everything we've weighed, would it be beneficial to actually say, to follow this process? First of all, do a fertility test before you get together. Then let the country make DNA mandatory. So nobody can fight because it is a legal thing. And then just do it. It's legal. It's a legal thing that the government has said should happen. So if the government comes today with a referendum and says, we want to make DNA mandatory, people should be able to say, if it's legal, by all means do that. As long as a spouse isn't coming to ask for it. It's a legal thing. How would you look at that? Would you think that that's fair?
Let me quickly say this. You see, in Nigeria right now, before they get married, churches used to do it a long time ago, but even the mosques now do it. It's like the last 5-6 years, it's now compulsory too. You have to do this test for this one, AS, SS, genotype. Must do genotype test.
Yeah, genotype is a must.
Yeah, must, and HIV test. Must. So the issue is, so you know what you're going in for. They're never going to stop the marriage. I mean, you have SS, you still want to marry? Go ahead.
No, but I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. Even fertility, some take it up as compulsory. Yes. So it's like, even if you know, okay, this person is not fertile, you still want to marry the person? Go ahead. Yeah, it's your choice, but you know. So all of these are factors before it's choice. But when you say DNA, who is benefiting for the knowledge of the DNA? Because in the case of HIV test, genotype test, and all tests, it's both parties benefiting. We both know where we stand with each other. But the DNA, who is benefiting from it? That's the way to, push the agenda. Nobody argued with all these tests they were doing, because both parties, both sides. But DNA, who benefits? If it's right or if it's wrong, who benefits? You see the problem there? That's why it will be hard to push it as a government policy. That's it. But if the government can, I can't even see how both parties will benefit from it, frankly, from where I am. So that's why I don't think it can be a government policy. I don't think it should be forced on people.
Okay.
That's my own opinion.
Louis,
but the rest can stand though.
Okay. Louis, what's your take on this?
Well, I would say that I would encourage the government of discharge from the hospital after childbirth. You understand? So something you go home with. And why? Yes, it's true that it appears as though the man is on the receiving end positively, more or less. However, I think it's safer for one to know what is early than having to be okay with something and thinking everything is all nice, and then you find out that what your thoughts were are not correct or are not accurate. I'm talking about the child being yours or not. Unfortunately, these things again, these things are on the rise. People go get divorced now for the flimsiest of excuses. And this happens to be one of those many excuses or reasons why people get divorced, because they have distrust issues. They either directly or indirectly find out that a child is not one person, so it belongs to someone else, and all of that. If this can be averted early on, I think it's a welcome idea. I I don't want to outrightly say it will be demeaning to women because of what the era we are in now, and how rampant. Okay, let's say, for example, the woman was faithful, but then the DNA says that child is not the man. Not switched at the hospital. Does that not raise a case for the hospital to say, if this child is not mine, either that this will be left to someone else? Yeah, because in Nigerian hospitals, these things happen. They switch babies. I know it's not only in Nigeria, but you know what I'm talking about. Here now, let's wash your child or something, and then one story comes up and then they're giving you someone else's baby. As a matter of fact, we who are speaking now, we cannot say for sure because we didn't have any DNA tests run. How do we know that we are our parents? We who were born in Nigeria, how do we know that somehow something did not happen? I just get to believe that over time, the more you spend time with someone, somehow sometimes even the idea of looks does not necessarily say that a child, not necessarily is the fathers or mothers. Over time, you get to begin to look like those you spend a lot of time with. So I think I personally would encourage it that they make this a law that when a baby is being delivered, those tests should be run, and then the parents should both go home knowing what the situation is. Not like Louis is 100% believer in the DNA, to be honest with you, and especially in these parts, because I can't say I'm not a DNA expert, so please don't get me wrong, but because of where we are, I mean, like this part of the world, I believe anything can be manipulated. Yeah. Something they can manipulate the DNA thing too. If it's here, if it really means a lot to the person who is going to lose out of that deal, it can be manipulated. I believe so. you know.
Okay,
So
okay.
these are my thoughts.
Thank you, guys. I mean, it's been a very interesting conversation. I have definitely learned a lot. My brain is still doing pew, pew, pew. But this is something that it's becoming more and more of a conversation. And I'm not going to be surprised at all if we start hearing about it in Senate and things like that, where it's now going to be up for debate, as in whether it's something that should be made mandatory or not. I think that the world is sort of going full circle, because now it seems like everybody and their father and mother have lost their minds right now in Nigeria and in the world at large. And it might come to a place where the government might have to make some definite steps that is not going to be quite friendly for many people, not just with only child, but many other things. And people will kick against it, but then it will become the norm, it will become usual. And another thing is that once the country is already conducting DNA as a normal standard, then it's going to be difficult for foreign countries to justify insisting on DNA, because then it's going to create diplomatic problems and all of that stuff. But whatever it is that we believe, whether we believe it should be mandatory, whether we believe it shouldn't be mandatory, all I will say to this is, guys, if you make a commitment to someone, please try and keep to it. And let's just try and be good people. Let's try and be good people. And you'll be amazed what people are willing to take now. Especially when someone discovers that if a man knows he cannot father a child, but he doesn't want people outside to know, he can actually talk with his wife and they'll arrange the whole thing. And she'll come, hey, I'm pregnant, one thing. And, it's been happening for yonks. It's not a new concept. I think it's a subterfuge, but then that's just my thought. Well, till we do this again, I just want to say thank you to Nana Shehu, to Louis and Zibi and Nani, to Sasha, to Shitu Fora, to Mr. Solomon Taiwo, to Mavis, Duale, Yetunde Osijo, Ololade Onibuje. Thank you so much. And to everybody else who is watching, who's been listening in, honestly, thank you for your support, your love, with me coming back to join on the show and all of that. And yes, till we do this again, same time, same place. Take care. God bless. Bye, everyone. Stay for the after party.
Bye.